that is better suited to this particular work that we do. It's a short wheelbase Land Rover that we use, and although Land Rovers have got a reputation for being finicky, to say the least, they do repair relatively easily, and with the skills that we have in this country, we can quite easily fix these cars and have been fixing them for years and years and years. The type of work that we do with them for 6 hours a day, I don't think a tank would endure. But they do it quite stoically, I must be honest with you. So just in conclusion there, we fix the cars when we can on site. We do have a series of mechanics that work locally and across the country that also know our cars quite intimately. We have a team of guys that look for spare parts when we can, so that we have a spare parts bin, for lack of a better word. And then on site, we have a magician called Opa. He's a local mechanic, and he also understands our cars intimately. And between all of those people, we can keep these cars going. So with 3 cars, we can have 2 running most of the time. And hopefully we'll be able to field all 3 for you soon, and in a variety of different areas as well, which is nice. That is the growth plan of Wild Earth. We've got Aubrey in front of us. You can just see him here. He's busy reversing and going through. These lines are in incredibly thick bush. You can hardly walk through here in summer, let alone drive through here in winter. But I'm trusting that Aubrey knows exactly what he's doing. He's been here for decades and knows where and where you can't drive. So I'm just relying at the moment on his expertise, and we'll see where these lions are going and what they're up to. I might just have to switch my radio on again. I'm being naughty by not having the radio on, you can see, so increasing the volume to torture mode. And let's see, what do we do here? All right, these lions seem like they're moving. It happens, lions move, especially this time of the day. And they might be following those buffalo that have moved off and crossed into Buffelshoek. They might be following them. Let's see where Aubrey wants to go. He's being very careful. There's a fallen down tree there and he doesn't want to bump over the tree. They can have this, fallen trees have this alarming ability of shooting sticks up around you. And as you can see there, they're almost wearing that branch. So you do it with any speed, and those branches come up at you at speed and can cause quite sore heads and sore fingers. All right, while we get ourselves sorted around in this maze that we're in at the moment, hopefully we can show you a little bit more than just the shadow of a cub going around. Brent's got an update for you, and we'll catch up with you once we're through all of this stuff.
We're checking straight through the center of Djuma at the moment, looking for badgers and battaliers. And if we have no luck there, I think I am going to head towards Arathusa, see what's happening in the west. Might take a little drive down the Mawati in search of the elusive white-throated robin. So far, no leopard tracks. Now, let's look for some birds. Now, of course, what always happens is when you're off air, the birds are literally everywhere, and as soon as you're on air, they disappear. What's been walking over here? Howard the hyena. Now, for those of you unsure about Howard, it's my nickname for all hyenas. Kyle would like to know if I have any funny stories about hyenas. Well, actually, Kyle, I know someone who was shouting at a hyena not 2 nights ago. And who was that?
Me.
Why were you shouting at a hyena, Brian?
The hyena was trying to climb onto our kitchen table.
And why was the hyena trying to climb onto the kitchen table?
It was there trying to steal the bin.
So we often have hyenas try steal our dirt bins in camp. Last night, it actually succeeded. Purple roller disappearing overhead. Nice, Brian. Oh, there we go. Another bird for our bird list, even though it was highly mobile. Yes, so the hyena actually succeeded in stealing the bin. So what they used to do in camp is drag them. But then that wakes everyone up and gets Brian popping his head through his window going, "Hey, stop it, hyena!" Maybe not in those exact words. But so the hyena is so strong now, it actually picks up. And I mean, those bins are big. I don't know, probably weigh alone 5 kilos. And with garbage in it, it picks up the bin and lifts it off the ground so it can sneak it out of camp without making a noise and then devour what's in it once it's outside. Now, hyenas are designed to do this. Hyenas have a very interesting evolutionary connection with human beings. So, but before we go on to that, one of my favorite little birds, the emerald spotted wood dove. Love their wandering walk. So when you find their tracks, it's never in a straight line. They're always zigzagging, often crisscrossing over their own tracks. Now we can see the emerald starting to shine in the sunlight there. Hey, little one. Still puffed up because it's still quite chilly. I think we're doing quite well. We must be about 10 birds so far, Brian. Let me know, how many birds are we on? Hashtag Safari Live or questions@wildearth.tv. So, oh yes, hyenas have a very interesting evolutionary connection with human beings. So, modern day hyenas evolved at about the same time as modern day humans and in Africa. So, humans are quite messy, so we leave a lot of rubbish, even our... That's not something you see every day. I think the last person to drive on the road, their eyes weren't as sharp as mine, because they've definitely been, looks like they have been driven over. How do I look?
Oh,
so fetching. So you do find interesting things out on safari, like sunglasses, cameras, clothes often hooked onto thorn trees. Quite tough. They survived a driving over. They lost their branding. Maybe I'll find their branding. Oh, I am. I don't think they're designer, Brian, unfortunately. Oh, I know. Oof, very strange colour. I think these are definitely ladies' sunglasses. What do you think?
They suit you.
They suit me. Well, thank you, Brian. We'll find out on the radio if anyone's lost a pair of sunglasses. I don't think they'll want those ones back, though, to be honest. They're a bit bent out of shape. Very orange lenses as well. I don't know how you'll see anything driving around with those on. Okay, back to hyenas and their evolutionary connection to human beings. And so humans, of course, although we are able to extract a lot of meat off the bone and even the marrow by breaking it up, we are unable to chew bones and things like that and digest certain materials. So when you're looking for old hominid or human sites in terms of paleoanthropology, even from hominins that predate human beings, we often left something that's called a midden. So normally we think about middens in terms of animal dung and stuff, but a human midden is basically an old trash heap. So human beings, you will find bones, pieces of often tortoise, which was a very popular thing for early hominins and humans to eat. Bones that have been broken, you can see tool marks on them, and if you're close to the coast, especially the middens are full of oyster shells, mussel shells, various crustaceans. So hyenas have evolved alongside us, and they've historically fed off all these human middens, and the modern day trash is the modern version of a human midden. And so hyena is quite interesting. So if you walk into lions on foot during the day, we're the dominant diurnal predator, they'll often take off, run away, try to stay away from you. Hyenas sort of look at you, they'll keep their distance. They're like, when I know he's not fast, he's not going to catch me. And I know that I've got a potential meal if I hang around where the humans are. So that's why you quite often find hyenas will hang around camps, and it's not a new thing. It's been happening for hundreds of thousands of years. Where's that little thing sitting up there? Is it a grey go-away bird? No, it is an African green pigeon silhouetted there. You can see that little beak. Quite different from the other pigeon and dove species because it's got a little hook, and they are fruit eaters. There we go, another bird for the birdless, African green pigeon sunning itself. Not the best visual, but we'll take it. So, sorry, Carl, continuing on hyenas. So that's why we often find hyenas around camps, and it happens very frequently that they sometimes get caught in confined spaces around the camps, and that's when they can be potentially dangerous. Generally, they will always avoid conflict, and the only time a hyena is truly dangerous to you is if you've fallen asleep and left your door open or your tent zip open, and they are, of course, opportunists, and they'll take advantage of that. But funny hyena stories, I think the funniest one I know is from my time in northern Botswana. We had, but before we carry on, there's a bird party. They're flying. Let's try to get a bit closer. So I think probably get 3 or 4 species if we're lucky out of this little bird party, if they don't move off too much. So in this closest little, right there, hopping around. Let's see if it hops out into the open. You can just make it through in the sort of center shot there. There's a little southern black tit. There we go, see him hopping. Come on, out into the open so we can count you. There we go, you can see the white wings, very distinct. Oh, looks like he's caught something. Southern black tit. Another one for the bird list. Let's just sneak a bit further forward. Now, normally when you've got a southern black tit, you're likely to possibly have a couple of other species around. But I think they're a bit further off the road. They're flying away. Right. So when you see a southern black tit, you can look for chin spot. No, that's just the southern black tit again. But you can look for chin spot batis. You can look for often orange-breasted bushshrike, crombecs, a whole host of other species that these birds travel together while they are foraging. But again, back to hyenas. Sorry, I keep getting sidetracked. And the funniest thing, so we had a new lodge management couple who came in, and a lot of our staff in Botswana had been with us for many, many years, and they were convinced that there was thievery afoot in the lodge. So lots of random things were going missing, and eventually he left his camera bag on the bar counter, and that was gone. And they called my dad, no, there's someone stealing in camp and whatnot. And so we flew in and we went to have a look, and my dad had a chat to the staff, and the staff were like, no one's stealing. But eventually what happened is I was walking around the peripheries of camp trying to see if there was a stash point, and I did indeed find a stash point of a very old female hyena who basically picked up everything that was left lying around in camp. There were clothes, there was the camera bag, she'd crunched through the lenses, There was paraffin lanterns, so kerosene lanterns that she had chewed. Can't imagine that being too tasty. And I mean, literally anything, soap, shampoo, anything that was left lying around that hyena would chew. Here we go, little baby Inyala. Oh, full of the joy of morning. Oh, monkey alarm calls. Okay, that's right. It sounds right on our southern boundary, in an area where Karula has been crossing quite a bit. So I'm going to shoot down there as quickly as possible. While we do that, let's go across to Steph for an update.
And that is precisely how you find leopard if you cannot track. You do birds until you hear monkeys calling or impala barking, and then you go and look there for the animal. So let's all hold thumbs for Brent. As you can see, I'm not surrounded by the world's thickest bush on the planet. In actual fact, this is allowing me to breathe and not feeling as claustrophobic as I was inside there. We called off that particular lion sighting between myself and Aubrey. The bush just got too thick, and apart from us not wanting to damage the cars, what we don't want to do is these lionesses were obviously moving into that thick bush, and we just want to leave them be. We want them to have the power to say to us, listen, that's close enough. We're moving into thicker and thicker bush, and that's how we just do it with respect out here. So we've moved on, and onto bigger and better things. Maybe not bigger, but better things, let's say, than crashing through a bush and risking all of that stuff. So I don't quite know what I'm going to fill my time with just yet. Hopefully Brent pulls out some magic trick, and it gives me enough time to figure out what I'd like to and not like to do. But I think what I'm going to do is turn down here. Let's go and have a look at the Vuyatela Pan. After that, I'm going to cross the dam wall and maybe go down Central Road just to show everybody that I still like Central Road. A lot of elephant in this area last night. We've got a whole herd of impala that's now at the Vuyatela Pan, and some nyala. Let's go and have a look at them. All right. That is a nice view. Kaya, who's only 10 years old, firstly, hello. And secondly, you've asked me what my favorite animal is. I like two animals. They share the top spot for me, Kaya. I like honey badgers and I like hyena, I should say. And they're my favorite because they're always doing something and they always look mischievous, and that appeals to my nature. So mischievous, busybodies is what I enjoy, with honey badger probably slightly edging out the hyena. So Our Walk in the Rain from Iowa has just asked me if we've got any clan updates. And, no, unfortunately. The last time I had anything to do with trying to search for the hyena den, or a hyena den here, was the other day when we found a lot of tracks close to Sydney's. And those tracks then went into Buffelshoek and in the direction of where we think there's a den on the other side of the Sydney's dam wall. I haven't had a chance to go and actually snoop around there. We need to go and do that on foot, which I'm hoping to do in the next couple of weeks. And then we'll definitely have a better update for you. For now, not much. For now, we think that the hyena den is still in Buffelshoek or on the Manuleti boundary, where we cannot traverse. I think that we have got a portion of these hyena actually closer than that. I'm hearing a lot of vocalization around that area where we were just driving around with the Nkuhuma Pride. And that always is a good sign. That is a good sign that we've got some action. Now what you're looking at here are two young Nyala bulls. Just get my pink head out the way. I just think they're some of the most spectacular antelope. Even when they're young like this and they don't have those flowing manes of the older ones, they're still a pretty antelope. Oh, Bill, you've just asked me an interesting question. Why? Well, it's not so much more interesting than I don't really have an answer for it. You've just asked me, why do kudu and nyala horns curl? So firstly, they curl because that is what that family's character trait is. The tragelaphus or the spiral-horned antelope have twirly horns. Now it's up to us to try and think of why they've got curly horns. So let's try and employ some reasoning to this particular one, because I don't actually know the answer to this particular question, so I'm just going to decide what it is. Horn structure is for two things. It's for display, and it's for defense and fighting with one another for mating rights over females. So display, and it's a show of I don't know, it's just showy. A very healthy set of horns, a very large set of horns is from a distance tells you that this particular animal is mature and he's large and he's got good genetic stock. Large horns with their 2 points are also used to wrestle with one another so that strong males or equally strong males can decide which is more dominant, which fights better and is therefore equipped with a better gene to make the strongest babies possible. So those are the two functions of horns or antlers. With the tragelaphines, the spiral-horned antelope, I have noticed a third use, and that is where they break off branches at a slightly higher level than they can feed at, and so thereby increasing the layers that they can feed in, so increasing the height. They got more access to more vegetation that way. And I think that is probably what I'm going to settle on as being the reason for why they have why they've got that spiral horn, is it's easier for them to hook a branch and break it with a spiral that you can get some other type of leverage on a branch and break off a branch, bringing it closer to your mouth so that they can feed at a higher level. And that's probably what I'm going to say. That is what I'm going to say is the reason for the spiraled horn, is they've evolved a spiraled horn to be showy, to help them with defense, but also to help them break off a branch and bring it closer to their mouths so that they've got a wider feeding range in the forest and therefore become a little bit more competitive as a family, as a group of antelope. Yes, that's what I'd like to say about that, I think. Hopefully that answered your question, gave you something to think about. If you think that there's another reason potentially, please feel free to throw it into the fray, throw it into this discussion. Send it via Twitter, the hashtag Safari Live, or email. Even if you find an article on it, you can email it through to questions@wildearth.tv, and Louise or Kirsty, I'm sure, will quickly go through it and send me through some answers, which I can share with all of you. All right. So that's me done at Vuya Telepan. Donnie, you've asked me, do the staff here ever add water to the watering holes? Absolutely, Donnie. Most camps in the Sabi Sands do have a watering hole in front of the camp. This one is no different. We'll show you it quickly. It's no different to this particular watering hole. We pump it from a borehole, and most camps have something similar in the Sabi Sands. In actual fact, most areas in any of the game reserves that have a lot of tourists visiting them will have a pumped pan of some sort in the vicinity. Not all of them have them at the lodges, but there will be a pumped pan of some sort in the vicinity. And that's because surface water in Africa is actually quite rare, and it's very seasonal. And when you've got a business that needs cash flow 365 days a year, you need to make sure that you've got some water there. As it is, next to air, the single most important thing that animals need. It goes air first, then water, then food, then shelter and protection. So that is the 4 pillars in that order: air, water, food, and shelter that animals look for. In animals' case, not really shelter, but it's protection of some sort. And so by providing water, by providing surface water, we're actually doing them a favor and keeping animals there. So, Gage, I'm sure that was your name. I didn't quite get it there. It was a little bit soft, actually, in my ear. So, Gage, you've asked me what type of food do antelope eat. They eat a variety of different foods, in actual fact. Some antelope eat grass and are grazers. Some antelope eat leaves and are called browsers. And then you get these mixed feeders as well, like an impala, which can eat both grass and leaves. And then also, I'd like to add their common duiker as well, the tiny little dwarf antelope that we have here. They have a third one. They actually can feed on meat as well. So they have the ability to process meat, which is rare in a herbivore, for the following reasons. Our tummy is made of, in very broad terms, it's made of a tummy that has a section, a front section and a back section. The back section of our tummy goes into our small intestine, and that then goes into our large intestine, and they all have different functions. In herbivores, you tend to find that because of cellulose, because it's such a very difficult thing to try and break through and to try and digest, it takes a long time. So animals have a tummy that consists, a forward part of that consists of mulching up the vegetables that they eat, grass or leaves, mixing it with enzymes and mixing it with microbes, and then it takes a very long time to go through their intestine. They've got a very long small intestine, and that allows for the absorption to take place. When you're a meat eater, you have to have the capacity to eat a large amount of meat very quickly because it goes off. You then have to process a large amount of meat quickly because it goes off, and you can poison yourself. So cats tend to have, for lack of a better example, a tummy that can swell very, very big to hold a lot of food at once, and then a very large, short, small intestine, and then it goes into the large intestine and comes out pretty quick after that. So 2 very different structures. You can't have a very large small intestine and a very large long large intestine. You won't have enough space in your body to have that. So it tends to be either or. And that's why we have herbivores and carnivores. It's because of these 2 very distinct digestive systems. But a duiker has a little bit of both, and that's because a duiker has a very primitive setup in its tummy. So it's not that good at digesting the leaves and grass that it eats. It's also not that good at digesting meat, but it can live off of both. Whereas the more climax species, let's for instance take something like a waterbuck or a kudu or nyala, and something like a lion, have really accelerated down those paths. And they've got the 2, at the moment, the epitome of the 2 digestive systems that they can have. Hopefully that answered your question there, Mr. Gage. All right, and on that note, and while we go down here and see what else we can find down Twin Dams, we're going to send you up to Brent, who's got an update for you.
So unfortunately, those monkey alarm calls were to the south of our boundary, but it could mean Queen Karula is on her way north, maybe coming to visit us for the sunset safari. So we've decided, because we were in the area, it's time for the search for the white-throated robin. I heard one calling, and say around that jackalberry over there. We're going to stop and listen once we get into this spot. I can hear an oxpecker as well. There it is. So right at the tip top of that dead tree, the back one. There we go. Red-billed oxpecker. Hasn't found any mammals to land upon and feed off the ticks yet. Trying to listen for the white-throated robin. Being very elusive. No sign of the white-throated robin. I heard one calling around here a little bit earlier while we were on our way to see what those monkeys were shouting at. Wonderful big jackalberry. Now, Siberia, it says since the seasons are changing, oh, it's my favorite antelope. And it's even better because it begins with a B. Siberia, I'll get to you now. How's that, Brian? It's a wonderful little female bushbuck. They are by far my most favorite antelope. Hello, little one. I just love the way they move. Now watch as she walks, she puts her back foot exactly where her front foot was to minimize any noise. Oh, so gorgeous. Now, the Zulu name for them is Mbabala. Now, hopefully you managed to notice before she disappeared, there's little white spots on her. And basically in Zulu, or we might get a view through there. See those beautiful little dainty spots on her rump? Now in Zulu, it means the one who was drawn on. So someone's taken a little white pen and dabbed little spots. Maybe it was the thumb. But that also even translates through to their Latin name, which is Traphalagus scriptus. And scriptus obviously also means the one who is drawn on. Now, the Traphalagids, or the spiral-horned antelope, are by far my favorite family of antelope. So we get 3 here. We get the bushbuck, the nyala, and the kudu. But there are a few more species as you move further north in Africa. Sitatunga, lesser kudu, bongo, mountain nyala. So really, really cool family of antelope. Where are all the birds that are supposed to be in the drainage line this morning? Oh, excuse me. So Siberia was asking, because of the change of seasons, are we going to have a butterfly or garden cam up? Well, I think the best butterfly cam is going to be the Djuma cam, especially now as the butterflies start getting more active, and they're going to be attracted to that water. So keep a lookout for butterflies there. As in a garden cam, there's not many gardens per se out here. It's all bush, so this is our garden. So we've got multiple garden cams. And here we go, under the Mawati Arch. Oh, I see some birds up ahead, Brian. There's a little bird party. That's what I was looking for here in the drainage line. Oh, I can see about 4 different species already. Just go very slowly, don't fly away. So list says we're on about 10 of 50 birds. Ryan, we think we're on 11. We might be wrong, but let's see if we can add a few more. Okay, Brian and that big knobthorn at the back, hopping along the edge. A little bit more to the right. And there we go. I don't know what it is yet, I just saw it moving. I see some nice colour on there, don't you? Get my binos out. What is that? It's an orange-breasted bushwhack. There we go. You can just make out the bright colours of the orange-breasted bushwhack hopping around there. It's a nice one to add to our bird list. And you can hear her calling. That's the same one we were looking at. Oh, let's go forward a little bit. So, oh, there we go. Do you see it fly there? It's gone into that little spikethorn thicket. Let's just have a look. So we're going to have to do a bit of cheating, I think. Let us try worm some bush birds out of the bush. So I'm going to do a little distress call. Psh, 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 psh. There directly, there he is. That's the one, or another one of the same ones I was looking at. Oh, where's he gone? Nope, so fast. I don't know if we can count that one. It was a rattling testicular. Let's see if we can get some out a bit closer. Have you got one? Oh, well done, Brian. There we go. Rattling testicular. Oh, off it goes. Now, I also saw Chagra and Combeck, but I can't see where they've gone now. Right, okay, let's keep moving down the Moati. Oopsie. Go. That's the little rattling testiculars keep moving opposite us. Laurie, do sunflowers grow in the Sabi sands? I'm going to let Brian take this one, Laurie.
I planted many sunflowers. They were growing in the Sabi sand.
What happened to your sunflowers,
They
Brian?
got devoured. I was so sad.
What devoured them?
What was it? I think a bushbuck?
It was a bushbuck.
Yes. A bushbuck came in and decimated my garden. I was very bleak.
Yes, but of course they don't naturally... Oh, there's some little fly catchers. There's a pair of fly catchers. And on that, there we go, Brian's got them. There's one there. Oh, off it goes. Where's the other one? Closer. There he goes. Oh dear. Let's go forward a bit. Now this is one of our more common little flycatcher species. Not being very... Well, they keep moving along, but let's get the drongo because I put it in the bank. It's sitting on that leadwood. Silhouetted fork-tailed drongo, making noise. Oh, Kale says we're on 15. Brian, if we come out on the closest, you got him. There we go. Well done, Brian. There's a very cool bird. Let's wait for him to pop out. There we go. A black-backed... Oh, is it? Looks like a puffback. There we go. Black-backed puffback. Shrike. Well, there's 16. Maybe 17 already, Brian. There we go. Up in the open. There he goes. Fossicking about in that leadwood, looking for little insects to eat. Oh, we can hear some canaries. I think we need to get to a spot where the birds are closer to us. What do you think, Brian? Oh, there's some birds coming up in this jackalberry. I can't see what they are yet. The sun's just in a bad spot. Can you see it, Brian? Oh, wait, what was that? That looked quite interesting, whatever it was. There's another one up higher. I think the one pop out into the open. Hiding behind the dense foliage of the jackalberry. This is a star. It's a Cape glossy starling, that top one. Now the bottom one, I'm not sure where it is, but it looked more interesting. Like some, struggling to get a view. It's still hopping about in there. Oh, there we go. What are you? Ah, it's a crested barbet. Oh, there he goes. Difficult tree, lots of thick foliage. There we go, you can make out the crested barbet. Oh, off he goes. Now, one of the birds I'm looking for while we travel down the Mawati is one of the helmet shrikes. We see the white-crowned helmet shrikes very often, but we don't see the reds. Helmet shrikes as often, so hoping we might find some this morning. No luck yet. You know, one of the best places to bird watch, strangely enough, is actually in our car park. We always get lots of species there, so maybe when we're desperate at the end of drive to add a few more species, we might even do a bit of birding in camp. Hi, Liz. Oh, we've got a spider web. Whoop. Liz would like to know, do we ever see yellow-billed oxpeckers in our area? We do, Liz. Normally on buffalo, and when we've got big herds of buffalo, always a good spot to look for yellow-billed oxpeckers. I mean, we went through a stage where we saw them nearly every day for about 2 weeks on those Duggar boys around the Jumapan. Okay, I see one. It's one of the more common ones, but we'll get it off the bird list. We haven't done it yet this morning. The grey go-away bird. There we go, there's a gap, I think. So, there we go. Wah. Definitely. Well, we've done a few of the noisiest birds around today. We've done the arrow-marked babbler, the blacksmith lapwing, now the grey go-away bird, and of course the hardy-dar ibis. Man, to you too. Man. Now, one thing about a grey go-away bird, never park your car under a fruiting tree. It seems that their droppings are like acid and cut through car paint. Man. Okay, well, that's it. Keep complaining. And we'll get out of it. I think let's head towards Treehouse. There's always some good birds if we go along that little river system that heads there. And of course, Queen Karula might have moved further to the north, and that's a good spot to look for her. So there's a couple of more common bird species we haven't managed to get, so we'll keep looking for them, maybe find some Natal francolins. I'm really hoping we find two of my favorite Franklin species, which is Shelleys and Koki. And it's a good time of the year to see them. Normally they're quite difficult to see because they skulk in the long grasses, but of course not much long grass around at the moment. Well, hello Dispatch Griffin, who has finally decided to start their bird list today. What a good day to do it, since we are aiming to try hit those species and hit them hard on Killer Bee Day. Now, the other thing we might find on this little loop through here is a brown-hooded kingfisher. We see them quite regularly. Ooh, but I just can't help it when I see a beautiful bushbuck out in the open. And there she is. Now, you can see those little white spots I was talking about clearly now. Could even be the same bushbuck, I think, we saw. Always very alert. Feeding off the little bushes that are growing in the Moati riverbed. So even when walking out in the open, watch her feet. Doop, doop. Exactly the same spot. Isn't that incredible? That's one of the ways to tell bushbuck tracks from the other smaller antelope track, is how they place them almost exactly on top of each other. Stunning. Well, I'll let her continue moving through, trying to get some sustenance in this drought. James Richard thinks we need a brain teaser for Killer Bee Day. What do you think, Brian? Should we make it a really tough one? Okay, brain teaser, brain teaser. Well, we'll start off with a slightly easier one, and because we are in search of birds, we'll keep it on the feathered front. And it was arrow. Well, we got a bird. Back, forward. Back, Brian's got a bird. Maybe this could be the brain teaser bird. I'm not sure where Brian's looking. A yellow-billed hornbill. Definitely not a yellow brain teaser bird, but a good spot by Brian. But we'll keep the first brain teaser of the day, slightly civilized. And talk, 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 talk. And it is, what is the national bird of South Africa? So, what is the national bird of South Africa? If you know what the national bird of South Africa is, send me an email, questions@wildearth.tv, or use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. So, we're going to continue in search of birds and all other wonderful things that are out here in this magnificent, in the magnificent low veld of South Africa. And while we do that, Steph has made his way, very strangely, all the way down to Cheetah Plains.
I have found my way all the way down to Cheetah Plains, and I'm just about to make some space for my friend over here to come past. So excuse us going into the bush like that quite suddenly, but bye, how are you? All right, thank you. Thank you. So, sorry, we just had to make some space on these single track roads. We've got the more nimble, we've got the more agile car, and I was being a little bit more courteous. All right, so we are on Cheetah Plains at the moment. Now, I've only ever been here once before on a drive with all of you, and it was an exploration. You know, went left to the road, went right to the road, and I feel I'm probably going to have to do something similar today to try and find what we're looking for over here. Obviously, these Sticks Pride have been inhaling a buffalo for the last couple of days. That wonderful sighting that you had with Brent a couple of days ago of lion cubs inside of buffalo covered in blood and male lions swatting and going crazy. That's basically what we're going to be trying to find you today. There's just lion tracks everywhere, all over these roads at the moment. It's quite exciting. But anyway, we're on our way to try and see if we can find them and see if we can. Here's some vultures. This is where they were, I'm sure, because the vultures are all over the trees here. Let's show you what I mean by that. Have a look at that. This tree just literally draped in vulture. And those are all whiteback vultures, and they all would have been here to try and feed on that buffalo carcass that is around this area somewhere. Now they're just waiting for the thermals to heat up. I'm sure their carcass is finished already. That's a hooded vulture. And almost every tree that we've got here, there's a bunch of them. Let's see if we can go forward a little bit and show you sitting in these dead trees. They need the elevation and the open branches to land, to be honest. They've got such a massive wingspan, it's really difficult for them to take off from a thickly wooded branch. Go forward a little bit, Jeffy. Here's the leftover buffalo carcass. Nothing much left on it at all. That is all that's left of a buffalo. Not much, eh? Ew. All right, and so one minus buffalo in the Kruger National Park, and lions with enough metabolic energy to keep on going for the next 3 weeks. Not the cubs, but definitely the adults. Now the trick is to be finding where these cats have gone, and hopefully do that before the show has ended, hey? Let's go and have a look at 3 in a row pan. It's always a good place to start. Water, when you're full of buffalo, water is the next best thing. So let's go and have a look and see if we can find them here, and then from there we'll sort of do a circle around all the pans in the area and see if we can pick them up. There's just something different about driving around far away from your home base. It just feels like you're miles away from anything. We're actually very close to the Kruger National Park boundary here. And why that's important, it's because the Sabi Sands is an addition onto the Kruger National Park proper, and right up on its western side. What are you busy doing? Oh, you had something stuck on your leg, that's what you're doing. Have you seen some lions passing by? Yes? No? Okay. I think they're blessed with a very short memory, which I think is a very good thing. If you're an impala, you don't want to have to remember the horrors of the night before. And there they go. Alrighty, got some lion tracks on the road here, going backwards and forwards. Alright, and while I scan the road ahead, and so that you don't have to stare into the back of my bald head, Brent has an update for you and whatever he's been busy with.
Well, we found some pigs. Now, these pigs are often around the treehouse dam. Their hole is not too far away. Hello, funny looking. They are a strange creature. They're actually one of the animals that's hardest hit by drought. And at the moment they're going to be doing a lot of excavation, trying to get any nutrients out of the roots from the grasses. And I have seen them dig up tubers in dry times like this as well. But that one's not 100% relaxed. See how her tail starts going up a little bit? Looks like she wants to run away. Listening very carefully. See the tail, it doesn't quite get as relaxed. The one on the right seems far more relaxed than the one on the left. And she keeps looking back at us, making sure we're not a potential threat. And the other one's more concerned in finding food. Wait, is that one chewing? Now, Hannah, a big Safari Live welcome to you, Hannah, who is a new viewer. Hannah would like to know, are these pigs dangerous? If you corner them, Hannah, or if you stand in front of their holes at the wrong time of the day, but normally not, they'll just run away from you. And you can see that one's trying to put distance between us and her. So we'll not disturb her any longer and keep moving. Now, luckily, no kingfishers and things that I was hoping for along the little river system that runs from the Treehouse Dam. Okay, so let's go look a little bit further to the west. So well done to Gail, Matthew, Shamsung, Lily, and many others. I think the brain teaser was far too easy to start with, and you guys all got it right. The national birds of South Africa is indeed the blue crane. It caught me so by surprise on the corner. I think it's a rattling testicular. Whoop, yes it is. But I can hear a lot of other bird species. This is the bird party we were looking for. So let's sneak forward a little bit. I will show you a picture of a blue crane shortly, but let's see if we can add to our bird list first. Don't fly so far away. Come back, Summitable, come back. Fortunately, the road is turning towards where they flew. Oh, there's a drongo. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for the common Summitable. There's some green wood hoopoes as well in the distance. We're going to try for them, even though they are quite far. Okay, so Brian, you see the fork-tailed... you're on it. Brian is so far ahead. He's on it. There we go. A green wood hoopoo. And a little chin spot batis has landed quite close to us. Oh, we're going to have to go back for him. No, don't fly away. There you go. I lost sight of him as he went behind us. He was in this marula tree. I think he's gone. Oh yeah, anyway, well, let's have a quick look at the blue crane. How's that, Brian? Brian's going to do some camera magic. There we go. There's the blue crane. Now, we don't get them here. They prefer open grasslands, so more common in the Highveld. Oh, I'm sorry my screen's so dusty, Brian. I'll clean it. Thank you very much. See, Brian looks after me. Oh, moving things around. But there we go. There's the distribution of the blue crane on the Highveld and around the mountainous areas where there's a lot more open grassland. So we're down here in the low veld, so no blue cranes down here. But up in the mountains above us, around Delstrom and that, we do get blue cranes quite frequently. Okay, let's keep moving. Now, while we keep searching on Djuma, it seems like Steph has found, or possibly found, something interesting down on Cheetah Plains.
Not possibly. We're just busy checking a series of dams and empty pans along this drainage line, quite close to the Cheetah Plains camp. And this was the direction the last tracks from that kill came in. So the lions had walked away in basically a west, sort of southwesterly direction away from that carcass, and seemed to have traveled pretty far. I'm getting this sporadic tracks coming out of the bushes on the right-hand side, joining a road and leaving it, and joining it. I think they're going to be around here somewhere. We're now following quite a deep drainage line off to our right-hand side, which might offer some shade for these cats. It's just such a lovely day to be. And that's why I've got my jackets on. Still, 2 jackets, a jersey, a shirt, and a vest, just to keep me warm, nice and snug. Even though I think for the Northern Hemisphere people it would be laughable. We've just found the lions. Have a look there. They are there in the shade. Done. Yes, see, Brent, it's not only you that can track, although you do track a lot better than me. It's much easier for me to track in soft sand. Right. And here's the whole pride. Actually, I mean, I knew we needed to come and check these pans in these empty wallows, but to be honest with you, the fact that they've walked so far with so much buffalo in them is crazy. Alright, let's just put the car here first, just to see exactly what they're all about. It looks like we've got most of the pride here, in actual fact. With a Birmingham. Oh, look at those fat bellies. Now you'll immediately notice that 4 of the cubs are actually suckling from the females. And that's because they're not 100% weaned just yet. So, from what I'm told from Louise, there is supposed to be 8 cubs, but there are only 5 cubs in the sighting, so we're missing 1 female's cubs. And I would imagine that the cubs that are busy nursing from their mothers are those particular mothers' cubs, even though all the lioness here can share nursing duties. So we've got 2 more playing there, just 1 more. Ah, yes, there are a few more lions popping out of everywhere. So we're now only missing 1, right? Have a look at them fighting over the milk. Watch there. The third cub has just decided to come and join in and is now pushing himself open a place. No, decided that it's much better just lying on mom. Right, well, we just get into a better position. We're just going to send you over to Brent, who's got a fire finch for you.
Now, this is one of the birds we struggled for a long time to get on camera. And there we go, a little petilia. Now, I've got to remember, it used to be called a Melba finch. And it's either, I think it's the green-winged petilia. There's an orange-winged petilia as well, but we only get the green-winged here. I'm just getting confused with the name changes to which one it is. I'm pretty sure it's green-winged. And this is only the second time we've managed to put them on camera. And this is a really nice sighting of one. So little seed eaters. Now often found in the company of the blue waxbill, which is of course on our list for today. And it is indeed the green-winged petilia. Now I'm trying to see if there's little waxbills around as well. That is a male. That beautiful orange colouring on its face. Yes, that's a really nice bird. I wasn't expecting to get that one. It's quite a difficult one. So that is a definite win. And we're missing a lot of the common species. So Brian and I were discussing about what number we should hope to get to by the end of the sunrise safari to make a real good push for that 50 on the sunset. So we were saying anywhere around 30 we think is a good number for the sunrise safari. And then hopefully when it's warmer, we're going to start seeing things like bacheliers and vultures and maybe some of the eagles. We do have a fish eagle already this morning, so we do have one of the big birds of prey. But I've been keeping my eyes out for little birds of prey, sparrowhawks, goshawks, and so far, no luck. Well, there have been quite a few lizard buzzards around as well. And no woodpeckers yet either. Now, we're going to keep searching, but let's go back to Steph and possibly, I know that sounds terrible, but possibly the worst looking lion cubs in Africa.
The worst looking lion cubs in Africa, you say, Brent? I must say, I actually half agree with you, to be quite honest. They are pretty manky, these poor little things. I was just saying to David now, they must be, they are just one itch ball after another. This mange that they have creates in it, it's the way it spreads really, it creates the most unbelievable skin irritation. And all I want to do is just cover them in moisturizing cream and tie their legs to the floor, put them in straitjackets, but oh, shame. But they are enjoying themselves. I mean, I must be honest, these females are very tolerant of their cubs nursing at the moment, and that's because with full bellies, they have enough energy to produce enough milk for all of their babies. These babies are not fully weaned just yet. That'll happen at around about 8 months about when these cubs will be fully weaned. And up until that point, although they'll eat meat more and more and more, they will still augment themselves with milk. And then they'll stop being these round little fluffy balls of fun, and they end up being these raggedy looking teenagers basically, with legs that are too big for them, and they have to fight their way into carcasses, and they go through a little bit of a downer between 9 months and a year and a half, to be honest. These lions couldn't have picked a better shady tree, and I think that's exactly probably why they came down here. It's nice and open, meaning there's going to be a lot of wind blowing here today. Plus, they've got this fantastic acacia tree that they're now under, so it's going to be really deep shade the whole day. And I think they are just going to lie here probably until late tonight. There's a chance they'll have to go and drink water. The females might want to drink some water. They might get a bit thirsty producing all the milk that they do. in which case they'll move off to the closest water point to have some water and carry on. Matthew, all the way from Michigan. Hello, Matthew. You've just asked me if these lions have the same sharp teeth as your house cats. They do, Matthew, although on a much, much larger scale. If you hold up your forefinger and you literally hold it in front of your face, that's how long the longest tooth is of a lion. About 5 centimeters and about as long as your forefinger. And probably thicker than your thumb at its root. So definitely big teeth. Sharp, maybe not as pointy. I mean, they're definitely sharp enough to puncture anything, but they are not as needle-like as what a house cat's would be. But definitely sharp enough with the amount of bite force that these lions can generate to basically go in and hold on into almost anything. Maybe not elephant skin. So Ziati, you're looking at all these cubs and same as me and going, how are they going to get rid of this mange? What is going to happen to this pride? Ziati, it's not uncommon for mange to attack almost any mammal. And generally what happens is it's when their immune systems are low. Mange is a type of mite, a skin mite, that feeds on the skin of these animals, basically making it itch like crazy and causing them to lick and scratch all their fur off. And because they're contact species, they pass it from one to another through social grooming. Now, these cubs, as soon as their immune systems pick up again, they should be able to shake off the mange. It may leave a scar or two. We will notice that in some cases giraffe are left with quite ugly scars. I have seen a completely bald impala before as well. And kudu every now and again have mange spots on them as well. So they might find that there's a scar or two on their ears in particular. With lions at least, their ears seem to take an absolute hammering. And they may have a hairless tail for a bit and some hairless patches on their bellies. But to be honest, I think that they will pull through. Mange can kill a cub that doesn't pick up condition. So cubs that are not in good condition, mange can cause such a system shutdown or overload that it will kill them. But it's rare. I would say that with the dry season in full swing, three lioness in this pride, plus a male that's stable at the moment, in an area that they have long been part of, I don't think that these particular lions have anything to worry about. Not from mange, at least, anyway. From other things, yes, but not from mange. What worries me is this little cub that's lying alone at the end of the tree stump there. He looks to be in the worst condition of all of them. Or she looks, I don't quite know what sex it is. May just be that that little lion cub is lying in the sun, went for a game on top of the stump, had a little bit of a game, and then got tired, decided to have a sleep. I mean, that's always possible. But lion cubs that lie far away from their siblings and far away from their moms, of a cat that's not feeling well, is this moving away and seclusion. So I'll keep my eye on that little guy and see what he gets up to or what she gets up to during this sighting. Exactly, Anna-Marie, you're saying these poor itchy babies, what a contrast to the Nkuhuma cubs who just are thriving at the moment. what I'd like to say about that, yes, it is a contrast, but it's not unheard of and not uncommon. About a year ago, maybe a bit more, it was last year, April, I went to go and see the Super Pride in the Kruger National Park on its eastern side, which comprised at that point 46 lions in one pride. There was a breakaway, 22 of the lions broke away, and the remainder of the pride, so the other 24 lions, were split into an even amount of females with almost an even amount of cubs, and the one split completely mange-ridden like this, and the other split not. Even though, and this is where it was such an amazing thing for me, even though they joined one another, the whole pride joined one another on a buffalo kill. I watched 46 lions inhale a buffalo in about an hour and a bit, maybe a bit more, hour and 30 minutes, a buffalo was finished, with manky cubs on the one side of the buffalo and pristine cubs on the other side of the buffalo. And the only conclusion I could draw was the fact that the cubs went through a little bit of a downer with so many mouths to feed. They just couldn't catch enough food to feed them all in one night, and half the pride got mange. And the other half stayed healthy, and therefore they didn't pick it up. But Brent has found himself a buffalo. We're going to stay here with this pride.
Look at that. That oxpecker is in his nose. Not the yellow-billed oxpecker we were looking for, but it is indeed a buffalo, and that begins with a B, so it's extra special today. Now, the buffalo had a torrid time of it last night, with the Nkahumas chasing them all about. Nice old buffalo bull. Beautiful wear on his bosses. You can see around his eyes and that he's lost a bit of hair from rubbing up against things. Oh, that oxpecker is irritating him. So there's probably about 10 or 15 of these bulls spread out through the bush, but we can only see this one nicely. Now, Michael's wondering, will a buffalo herd that's been split by hunting lions stay split permanently, or they reunite? They'll generally try reunite, even if it is days after the fact. I mean, we had that one buffalo cow who was hanging with the buffalo bulls after the lions obviously chased her herd around, and she decided that there was safety in numbers with the old boys. Was it better than being out on your own? Now, Mr. Buffalo, we would like to pass. Is that going to be all right? Oh, thank you. No, not quite. Let's move forward a tiny bit. Are you going to let us pass, sir? Why, thank you. So we're heading towards the open areas now, Impala Plains and places like that, hoping to add a different species to our bird list. And I think we might do a little dabble down towards Red Dam as well, depending on how much time we've got. Oh, there we go. There's a new bird. One of the ones we were looking for out on the open area is the Senegal lapwing. Now, this pair has babies, but I can't see them at the moment. They might be hidden. You always got to look very carefully for the little lapwings because they are so tiny. I think they might be very well hidden at the moment. Okay, well, let's keep going. So while we keep checking and adding ticks to our bird list, let's go back to Steph and the sticks.
And there you just got the big man lowering his head after giving us a baleful stare there. He's been unconscious since we got here, and now he's decided to sleep again. The one mom has just literally sat up and just stopped the feeding. Have a look at that cub, just enjoying mom's comfort. You can see that constant licking of the cub on the right-hand side. That is just a hallmark of this mangy disease. Like I said just before you left to go to Brent's Buffalo, I think that they will pick up condition very soon. It's the time of year that lions really thrive, is these dry times when there's lots and lots of prey around. And I think once the mom's milk is fortified with all the minerals that she can put into it and all the vitamins she can put into it, plus a good diet of meat and low stress, not walking kilometer after kilometer every single night, and with the fact that there's a Birmingham male with this particular pride, I find that I predict that they're going to pick up condition, and hopefully in a couple of weeks they'll have all their hair back and would have managed to weather the storm from this mange attack. You just see them there, they're just constant. When they're not feeding, they're just constantly licking. So Judy, you've asked if there was mud available, would these lions take a mud bath to relieve the itch? Unfortunately, no, Judy. Lions very reluctantly enter water. They do it, but they very reluctantly enter water. And even less so, mud. Mainly because it just takes such a long time to clean off. The only relief that they're giving themselves at the moment is just this constant licking and scratching. So I would imagine that it eases. Excuse me, gee whiz. Please excuse. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. I try and keep it away from the microphone, but to be honest, I don't know where to turn it. They sneak attack me. So they just scratch, and they scratch one another, and they lick one another, and they look for consolement from their mates and from their litter mates and from their moms. And it really just is a bit of a sad affair, but it's not really that dangerous. Yeah, this male's just stuck his head up again. Something is bothering him at the top of this hill. We're in a depression here, and I can't see what it is, but he's hearing something. I'm sure whatever it is will make itself known to us in not too distant future. Hi, Hannah. Hannah, you're a new viewer, and you've just asked us a question. Firstly, I just want to say welcome to the Wild Earth family, and welcome to Safari Live, and welcome to the community, and I'm sure you'll be welcomed with open arms. And you've asked me a question: Are there any lions here with manes? I would imagine that the question comes from the fact that you want to see a male lion with a big mane. And yes, we've got one right here. Let me show you what a mane is. A mane is that ruff of hair that you see around a male lion's neck and head. That is what you're looking at right there, that furry bit around his head. He'll stick his head up just now, and I hope I'll show you the full majesty of what that actually is. If you're asking a slightly more complex question, are there any female lions here with manes? Not in the Kruger National Park that I've seen. However, I have seen maned female lions in both Etosha and in Botswana's Moremi National Parks. So I have seen female lions with manes. What causes it, I don't know. At the time, I was just told that it was this pride that has females that do so well that they grow manes. You know, I don't know. I don't know why a female lion would grow a mane. I suppose, I don't even want to warrant a guess. I want to call it testosterone. I want to call it maybe some inbreeding, but I don't actually know. I mean, the lions in Botswana do very well, so I can't imagine it would be inbreeding. And why a female lion in one area over another would all of a sudden have a testosterone increase that'll give her a mane, I'm not too sure. So I don't actually know the answer to that question. But if you're just asking about a mane, then this male here has one, and a glorious one at that. Not as big as what it will be eventually one day. He's still a fairly young male. And their manes, their black hairs that you see, the long black hairs that you can see poking out of the mane, the yellow ruff, closer to the right-hand side, that is his true mane coming through. And that is definitely as a testosterone response, and he gets an increase in testosterone because he's the dominant male of a pride. His body reacts to that, and this overt maleness, for lack of a better word, increases those testosterone levels, and he gets this black ruff of a mane. Not all male lions have black manes. Some male lions have gloriously blonde manes, but I have read in some literature that females are more attracted to males with manes, and then males with black manes are more attractive to the lady lioness. The lion just rolling over. Joey, all the way from Australia, good afternoon to you, Joey. You've just asked me if male lions ever play with their cubs. Not as often as what females do, but yes, they will have a rough and tumble and a wrestle every so often. But they do like to hold themselves aloof, and it's generally just very rarely, I would say maybe when they're walking, a male lion will try and trip one of his cubs, or he'll submit to a bit of a wrestling match for a little bit of time. So they do it, but not to the same degree that lioness will. Lioness will sometimes play with their cubs. They teach them how to hunt, and they wrestle with them a little bit. But their real playmates are just their litter mates with one another. They're endless games. They play hide and go seek, they hunt together, they wrestle with one another, they play fight, they chase things, they share things, share twigs. So generally their playmates are their litter mates, not really the adults. The adults have got parenting to do, not playing. Now the reason why this lioness rolled over a little bit earlier was the fact that she's got all this meat sitting in her small intestine, tummy and small intestine at the moment, and there's not much that's helping that meat move around. So what she does is she rolls over every now and again just to help the meat move through the intestine. It's a vast quantity of meat that they can eat. They can eat up to a quarter of their body weight in one sitting. So think about that. You're a male lion that weighs 400 pounds. You can pack away a quarter of that, so 100 pounds of meat, into your belly at any one sitting. Now, 100 pounds of meat. Just think about that in how much meat you buy for your family once a year. So how many cubs have we got here? We've got 3 cubs with the one lioness, 2 with the other, and then we've got 2 cubs lying on their own under a branch here. So that would, by my maths, make it 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 8. Am I 8? Let's count them together. There's 1, 2 there. Three, 4, 5, 6 that I can see, with a 7th one, I think, lying on the other side of this mom's belly. Why don't we go and see? Let's reverse the car a little bit. You hold on tight. We're just going to start the car. Well, the wish was that I start the car. Windy this morning. looking for the Nkahuma pride that we did. I wasn't quite sure we didn't do some damage to her. I haven't got quite the same commitment to the artwork of a Land Rover that Brent Leo Smith does. There we go, we're in a bit of a better position there. And also to give Hannah a bit of a better view of that mane along the back of the lion's neck. I'm worried about these cubs that are on their own. Hey Dave. We'll have a look at them just now. We'll go and see if they flicker an eyelid in a bit. You can see that this is typical cub behavior. What we're looking at here, literally feeding in close contact with one another, lying in the sun on the outskirts, but close to mom nevertheless. Have a look at that one, busy licking. The one on the right-hand side, busy just cleaning his feeding area. Full, too full to eat anymore, but still still in control. Right, Brent Leo Smith seems to be scratching around in the ground for something, and I think it would be good to sneak up on him to show you what he's doing.
Okay, so we came to check on the Senegal lapwing nest that was here, and it has been raided overnight. They were here yesterday. If we look, I don't know if you can make that out there, Brian. Looks, it's the back track of a genet. So a genet's come in here, it's scurried about. There were 4 eggs in there yesterday, and all I can find now is little bits of egg shell, and definitely not from hatching. You can see they've been broken up. So very sad, but genets have got to eat too. So even with that incredible camouflage, the ground nesting birds, let me just try, there we go. The ground nesting birds will sometimes lose all their eggs, which has happened here to genet is quite a common one, white-tailed mongoose, honey badger, civet. In this case, it was a genet. Very sad, but it is nature out here. And those things do happen. And I'm going to keep that. That's a very cool little eggshell. Add it to my collection of things. So we were hoping to find some crowned lapwings out here. But alas, no crowned lapwings, and of course no Senegal. After their nest has been raided, it looks like they've moved out of the area. So some interesting news while you've been away. So remember early on the sunrise safari, the killer bees said it wouldn't be a killer bee day if they didn't go to Buffalo's Hook. Now, since we've passed Buffalo's Hook, Herbie's gone round, and there are female leopard tracks on top of our tracks. So Herbie's looking in that area. Unfortunately, we're quite far away, but I am listening to see if Herbie does find anything there, and then maybe we can make one last mad dash for a leopard before the end of the sunrise safari. Who knows? But until then, we're going to keep on searching for the birds. And I'm hoping, as we head towards Sydney's waterhole, we might add another couple of species. Oh, spider webs. It looks like if we can't get to 30, we're going to be leaving ourselves quite a challenge for the sunset safari. Now, Andrew would like to know if I have a least favorite bird. Oh, Andrew, that's a difficult question. I'm a very big birder, so I like most of the birds. I'd probably say my least favorite bird I've seen in the Sabi Sands is an Indian myna, an exotic bird species that are incredible bullies of other bird species. Look at that. Warming himself in the sun. A little squirrel. On the tip of that. There we go. There we go. There it is. Basking in the morning sun. Hello, little squirrel. And if we go down the branch, Brian, there's another one peeking out of a hole. There he is. Hello. Now, I generally prefer it when squirrels are alarm calling at leopards, but we'll have to just suffice that. And they're just going to be warming themselves in the early morning light. Now, obviously, it looks like they live in that hollow boerbean. Now, strangely enough, I have seen bush babies in this tree as well, and as well as a hornbill nest on the other side. So, a very popular tree. Well, let's leave the squirrels to warm up after a chilly morning. And we're heading towards Sydney's waterhole in the hope of adding some more bird species. Now, out of the common hornbill species, we're missing one, the grey hornbill. I can hear some calling. Hi, Hannah. Whoa, I nearly fell out of my door. It opened all by itself. They do that quite often. Well, Hannah, who's a new viewer, and as I said, welcome on the safari, Hannah. Hannah says, how often does the stream go out? This is so cool. Well, Hannah, oh, bird of prey, Brian. Hannah, I'll answer you, but I want to get closer to that bird of prey that's flying. So it's out twice a day, Hannah, from 6 a.m. Central African time to 9 a.m. And then again in the afternoon for the sunset safari from 3 p.m. To 6 p.m. Central African time. Okay, and we've got a big bird flying above us. It is not a batelier. I can say that much already. I think I know what it is, but let's have a closer look so I can confirm. Indeedy. Ooh, it could be a good one. It is indeed a very good one. Let's have a look. Let's wait for it to turn again. Now, who knows what that is? I wonder if anyone can tell me. If you know what bird is soaring above us, send your answers through to questions@wildearth. He's come a bit too close to us. There he is up in the distance. Questions@wildearth.tv, or use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. So who can tell me what big bird that is? I know. Brian, do you know? Maybe. So what? And it is. I don't know if I should give away too much. I think you guys should get it quite easily. So it's just. Oh, where's he gone? He's gone over our heads. So what you're looking for in that one in particular, when we had a better look of it, he's going to go into the sun. I don't think we're going to get a good view. There he is. Maybe we can see it. No, we're not going to be able to see it from there. But look at the coloration on the underside of the wing. That is the giveaway on that one. And I can hear the grey hornbills ahead. Now let's see if we can spot said grey hornbills. So we've got an answer in already. Was it an osprey? Most certainly not. Probably going to be quite difficult to see ospreys here, especially with the drought. There's some fork-tailed drongos, but I can hear. Oh, there's the blue waxbill, Brian, right next there. Oh, there it is, the blue waxbill and another petilia. So I said they're often found together, and there's another bird that's also often found on the ground with them, some of the firefinches. I don't see any firefinches just yet. You can see the petilia, a couple of petilias, a couple of blue waxbills. Oh, Brian's found something. Oh, look there. There we go. A little bit to the left, Brian. A little bit more to the left. There we go. There's a chin spot batis. And there was a southern black tit as well, but there we go. Chin spot batis. That's another species we've been looking for. So that's 2 out of here. Now, where's the crombeck? Got to be a crombeck in the bird party. And I just want to have a quick look through there. Is that more wax balls? Okay, let's keep moving. Oh, there's a fly catcher by the looks of things. And it was not a Warburg's eagle. There's another answer in. There is the crombeck in the bad light. Sorry, Brian. I'll try get him in better light. You can see on the edge of the quarry at the back. Over there. Oh, come on, hop into sight. There we go, a little crombeck. Now we've been looking for them with the bird parties. Not the best view we've had of a crombeck, but a crombeck nonetheless. Now, Joey, you're getting closer. It was not a white-backed vulture, but it was indeed a member of the vulture family. Oh, and it's gone. Okay, let's keep moving. Where are those hornbills we heard calling? Oh, I think we might be getting close to 30 now, Brian. It's not going to be easy, but we're on about 26, so that's a really good run in for the morning, especially with the PM. What's it? PW 300 or whatever this camera is. It lacks the super zoom, so we've really got to work hard for our birds. Okay, let's maybe have a look down at the waterhole quickly. And of course, we've still got the yet to be identified vulture. So it should be 27. Okay, so we're going to keep plonking away at our bird list. While we do that, let's go back to Steph and those scruffy little lions.
The scruffiest of them all has now managed to stand up and is now approaching Mom for a drink, and I'm very happy at that. You know, a sick cub won't drink. It's a male cub, I think. Let me just double check there. Oh, shame. And he's skinnier than his brothers. I think he's taking a bit of a hammering from this mange. There we go. There's Mom. There we go. Find it. There we go. Come on. Latch properly. He's just trying to get the flow of milk going. It'll take a few pulls to get the flow going. I wonder if she's actually still even producing on that side. She should be. There you go. There, and he's latched properly there now. Quite often, if you look very carefully, you can actually see the milk bubbles coming out the side. Books to give. You've just said that, and quite rightly so, it's a nice observation here, is that there's only 7 cubs. They may have lost one. I tend to agree with you. I think that it's a high probability that one cub is gone. On a carcass the size of a buffalo, on the length of time that these lions would have spent eating on it, it would have been a very quick thing for a mother to fetch a sick cub and bring her to a carcass. Or bring it to a carcass so that it would feed on the carcass and get some milk from her. So I think that there's a high probability that cub would have died. And this one that walked in from the side that's looking so crusty Although this one that's just rolled over you're looking at is looking even crustier than his brother. Shame. Oh, shame. Anyway, like I said, full bellies, you can see there, very full bellies. It's a young male. I'm just going to try and get your name right here. I think it's Iritus Fox. You're a relatively new viewer who's been watching for... You've been watching for a few months now, or a few weeks now, and you've become so fond of these cubs, and you've wanted to ask a question that pops up perennially. Would we help one of the characters that forms such an integral part of our narrative and our story out here? Would we help A, and would we film it, B, I think is the last portion of your question there. Would we help a cub? This is such a grey area here, but the general rule of thumb... Oh, would we film it? Excuse me. Would we film it? Absolutely, we would film it. The birth and the death of these characters of ours, they're not really ours. This is just the lion pride that we've gotten to know quite well because they live in the area that we live in. And they have a different lifespan. They have a different way of going about their lives than what we do. And we portray that, all the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we will absolutely film it. And although it won't be nice to watch and it'll be very sad, and it can get quite graphic and quite heart-wrenching, it's part of our responsibility out here to share that with you. We don't want to hide anything from you. We don't hide anything from you as our community and as our family, basically. We want to share all the things, all the trials, all the tribulations, all the successes, all the defeats. And that's how we make it part of the family, and it's inevitable. Cubs are going to get born, and cubs are going to die, and cubs are going to grow up and watch their parents die, and males are going to come and go and create instability and kill lionesses and then father new lionesses. It's all just part of the lion story. There's something that we need to just follow and keep up to date with you. I don't know if you've been watching for long enough, but to know that these Styx lionesses about a year ago had cubs that were roughly the same age as the ones that you're looking at right now. And one of the Birmingham males, possibly even the one that you're looking at right now, killed all their cubs and then walked around with a dead cub in his mouth for a day, and alternatively fed on a carcass and then mouthed this dead cub. And now we're looking at him very peaceful, the sire of his own cubs. They're the same age, and although they're a little bit moth-eaten or mite-eaten at the moment, they are generally in good health, as are their moms. And so that we needed to show you, and we did show you over all the months from then to now, and it's just part of their story. One cub has now died. We don't know how it died. I don't know how it died. The most common causes of cub mortality out here are hyena and leopard, other lion first, so predation, and then exposure and starvation. So exposure and starvation, and then disease. So it could have gotten sick very easily and died quite quickly, as easily as it could have been left behind and got eaten by a hyena, or bitten by a snake, or was a bit hungry, or this mange just got to him very quickly on a down day and ended it for him. Connie, all the way from Wisconsin, has asked me, when would the authorities step in with medicine? Wow. That's an interesting question, Connie. I mean, we obviously would help if an animal is rabid, if we could. And we did that with Sindile the leopard. We didn't just leave him to his own devices. We'd obviously do it for wild dog and for cheetah because they are so critically endangered. If it's in our power to help, we will. Lion, I mean, we've helped snared lions before, quite often with medication. We've helped a lion that lost his eye once in a fight, so nothing man-made. So, let me answer the question like this. If it's within our power and it's a vet condones it, one of the sand parks or one of the park vets condone it, they will help. If they don't think it's viable or feasible or valuable enough, they won't. If that makes a decision, it's left up to the scientific community, not up to us. If that makes it a bit easier to understand, I know for me, just trying to rationalize through what I've experienced in the past. Taking it away from cats even, we've helped an elephant that was in a fight. And elephants, especially male elephants, the Kruger National Park is reluctant to help. But this particular elephant on that particular day received help from one of the vets in the park. So yeah, I think it's up to the local vets. It's the decision is up to him to make. We just feed them information, and if they decide that it's worthwhile doing, then they do it. So obviously they're scientists and highly trained scientists, and they are able to make up a decision based on rational facts and figures. This little cub's got something sticking out the side of his, looks like his hip, to be honest. These cubs are skinny, you know. That's a little cub that was lying here behind us. He's now gone to a different female. No, it's the same female, she just moved. Same female, she just moved, so that's his mom. He's a bit skinny, I think that's why he looks so bedraggled. But he's now with mom, with milk, with a full belly. Lions have the most remarkable recuperating ability. Literally, you don't understand how skinny and how terrible they can get and recover from virtually nothing. So there's good hope for these cubs, at least from a nutrition point of view and getting over the mange. But from the Styx Lioness and Birmingham Boy and all their offspring, and from myself and from Dave, we just want to say thank you for joining us on Safari today. It's been a real pleasure hosting you again. There's a picture of the male lion for Hannah and his beautiful mane. And with him looking up in the sky at all these vultures flying around, leaving the carcass, we're also going to say our goodbyes. We will see you again this afternoon at 3 o'clock Central Africa time. And from us to you, wherever you are in the world, have a pleasant day further.
There we go, one of quarantine's resident lilac-breasted rollers. So we were hoping to find one, and hoping it's going to put us closer to that magical number 30. That'll put us in good stead for the sunset safari. We've got a few more minutes. We're going to utilize every second, trying to add another bird or two. And remember, it is Killer Bee Day, so lots of surprises for the sunset safari. And I think Brian and I might be putting a few pictures up through the day, see what the killer bees do when they're not on air. And let's go have a look. Come on, we're on 28 bird species. 2 more to get to 30, and that should make life a little bit easier for us on the sunset safari. There we go, 29 in the road, grey-headed sparrow. And well done to Lucy and Aqua, who were correct on the vulture. It was a white-headed vulture. The white in the wings is the giveaway. Okay, we've got a few more birds in this little spike thorn flitting about. I can't really see them. Let's try and maybe move forward a bit. I'm worried that there might be some more grey-headed sparrows. And looks like they are actually. Let's have a look. Where are they now? Where have they gone? Are they? Oh, I can't see. What is that? Oh, it's just too far. It is, it's not, it's number 30. It is a ashy flycatcher, I think. I'm just going to double check that now. Oh no, I've lost sight of them. Oh, there's golden-breasted bunting lower as well. We'll go back to the flycatchers. If you come right down to the same bush directly below, there we go, golden-breasted bunting flopping to the ground. Let's get a bit closer to that bush. Oh, there's it looked like an ashy flycatcher. I don't know if we can count that because I can't see them now. But the the golden-breasted bunting, definitely. We've got 40 seconds. Can we do one more? Is it possible? Brian? 30. 30. Panic. Where's Bird? Where's Bird? It's a grey-headed sparrow. We've seen that one. Oh no. We're going to have to do. Come on, one more. One more. I don't think we're going to do it, Brian. Yes, we are. Up in the sky, white-backed vultures. Bye.